All right, it took me a while to make this video because I wanted to see what Trump's administration was going to do, and they did exactly what I knew they were going to do, which is nothing. This whole spending thing where they've been finding out that money, these fake programs exist, and money's being funneled into these weird entities that don't do anything. I've been trying to tell people this for a long time. I made a video about a politician by the name of Catherine Pugh who got caught because she's black. So they, the white ones, they tend to not get caught just because they work together to hide the stuff, but a black person, they'll throw it as a sacrificial lamb. But I made a video just trying to give people proof, because people like me, there's other people like me that have been trying to tell people that your politicians are criminals. They're criminals. That they work directly for the wealthy, and that they take your tax dollars and they just steal it from you. They rob you, literally. We've been trying to tell you that, and people don't listen. So people like me got to go all out of our way to find actual real-life examples to share with people to kind of prove to people that we're telling the truth, which we shouldn't have to do that, but we have to do it, and we do it. So I gave an example of a woman by the name of Catherine Pugh just to show people how it works and all that stuff. And you can look through my videos to see that if you're interested. She was a mayor in Baltimore. She actually had to go to jail for her corruption. But this stuff exists. And I don't know how many examples. I don't know what it's going to take to get people to wake up. People are still talking about left versus right. I don't get it. Dude, the stupidity of the masses is literally unparalleled. It's unequal. God, we have to stop talking about this left versus right thing. It has now been proven that money is just funneled from our pockets and our paychecks, and it is given over to the wealthy. You guys don't... I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to say. A lot of these people are saying that the politicians are taking the money and they're pocketing it and it's money laundering. Is some of that going on? Yes, but the vast majority of it is what I've explained in other videos. Wealthy people want certain things done. So, for example, the USAID thing, money is being taken out and supposedly given over to these leaders of other countries. But if you talk to the citizens, money's given over to the leaders of these other countries so that the countries can grow things, develop things for the citizens. But when you talk to the citizens are like, we never received nothing. Nothing has changed here.
In Congo, there's an aid group, Action Against Hunger. This is they're treating tens of thousands of malnourished children. In Ethiopia, food assistance stopped for more than 1 million people as we've seen these AID cuts go into force, really across the board with very, very few waivers. How is Africa feeling this moment? Do you see this as a story of tragedy, or is there something else that we need to be looking at?
I think there's something else we need to be looking at. There is need for readjustments. There is need for realignment. We need to understand the real reason why USAID is in Africa. And not just USAID, but other NGOs. You look at DFID, which is the British equivalent, and many other smaller ones. Their sole purpose was to act as if they're coming to rescue Africa. They're coming to fill in the gaps in government services, gaps in education, gaps in healthcare, gaps in humanitarian services. They're coming in the guise of addressing issues to do with human rights, issues to do with environmental protection and social justice. They are coming in claiming that they are introducing grassroots initiatives that are going to help the people. And so they use that as a way to go into the most remote parts of Africa. They're talking about government advocacy. When you look at it on paper, it all looks really good. But they're actually wolf in sheep's clothing. They are using that open access sounding humanitarian to constantly destabilize governments. I can tell you right now, the majority of African leaders, and not just African leaders, but leaders in the developing world, are celebrating the exit of USAID. I was listening to a program, I believe it was CNN, and I was jumping up and down. It was a government official from Hungary. He was echoing the same sentiment. He said they are happy USAID is leaving Hungary because they are always supporting opposition. Their form of government advocacy is supporting whoever can keep the government in a turmoil.
So, Ambassador, let me just jump in here for you. This is a message that I don't think many Americans hear. I think many Americans believe, not all of them, but many of them believe that AID was essentially set up for philanthropic reasons, for dealing with the HIV/AIDS crisis, dealing with the various instabilities in the region, dealing with infrastructure deficits. But you're saying that there was something else as part of that package, meddling.
A major meddling agenda. Major meddling agenda. The majority of some of the workers, now the average USAID worker may not realize it, but quite a few of them are also operatives who are underground, and their major agenda is to destabilize governments, destabilize countries. If you think about it, their sole purpose, for example, filling in the gaps in healthcare and education, where is the change? Show me one country that USAID was in and education improved. Show me what country where USAID was in and healthcare improved. The social services they're bringing, it's peanuts. The American taxpayer needs to know the billions of dollars that are being given to USAID, a fraction is making it to the people.
And that's because what I've been trying to tell you is wealthy people will go into a country in Asia or Africa and they'll see, oh, I want something that naturally grows here, or I want access to this space, or I want this, or I want that. Whatever they want in order to help them or their business, they will go there. And in order to get access to that thing, they have to pay money, right? Well, they don't want to pay their own money. So what they do is come back to the States. They go to the politicians that they own or bribe in their state or wherever, and they write up a bill, and they give it to the politician. The politicians don't even write up the damn bills. Give it to the politician and say, you go introduce this as a bill that you created or a proposal that you created. They introduce it in. Other people that are being bribed all know what's going on. They vote on it. It gets passed almost immediately, like everything that the wealthy needs. It gets passed immediately. Whenever the wealthy ask for something, they unanimously fucking vote on it in a few days. So it gets passed. Now, what was in that proposal was, well, we need $10 million to go to this country to help them. So the $10 million is taken from the taxpayers in the United States. It goes over to this wealthy person who uses it to buy or build or create or extract whatever they needed done in that other country. That money is, a portion of that is given to the local leaders so that they look the other way and they shut up, because the local leaders there are also politicians. So the local leaders get a percentage, the politicians here in the United States get a percentage, and that wealthy person or those wealthy people or that wealthy group, they now have access to several $1 million that they can use to create whatever infrastructure they need or whatever product they need so that they can gain more wealth for themselves. That's what's happening. The wealthy pay the politicians to create laws and scenarios that funnel money from us to them. That's been doing that for centuries at this point. Centuries. People are just now catching on. And even now people aren't catching on. It's not a left versus right thing. It'll always be a poor versus rich. That is always what it will be. So when you have politicians, when the black people, us blacks, are saying, we've been aggrieved and systematically damaged, and we need, we're going to need that debt to be paid that should have been paid a long time ago for the free services that you got from us and all the torture that you've put us through. We need the debt to be owed, and we need a repair to happen. When we do that, you have the politicians like Bernie Sanders coming out saying, that's not feasible. Yeah, it's not feasible because he knows that, well, the money coming in the form of taxes, that's not for you citizens. It's definitely not for you niggers. That money is used for wealthy people around the world. So, like I've been telling people in other videos, the politicians already know we're never going to be able to pay, even if we wanted to, which we don't, we will never be able to pay reparations because that money is already accounted for. We already know that there's this, that, and a third wealthy person that already expects to get this, that, and a third from the budget. And we're just going to give it to them. And that's what's happening. And it's going to keep happening. And Donald Trump exposed this. No politician, nobody's been punished. Has a lawsuit been filed? Any news of people being arrested? No, no. Donald Trump just did that to get back at the people that punished him. And it'll put him in give him a bigger financial advantage because now he has something to hold over people's heads. And so now he can get certain things that he wants done for himself and his family and his friends. He can get that stuff pushed through. That's why that stuff was released. That was his way of getting back at them for what they did to him. But you're not going to see nothing's going to be done for us. We're not going to get, they're not going to cut checks and send it back to us, to the American citizens to pay us back for the money that has been stolen. They're not going to punish the people that were involved in this. They're probably not even going to mention names. I mean, the only name that I know of is Stacey Abrams, who got billions of dollars from the Democratic. Jesus Christ, this shit is so insane. So what you're seeing is just demonic, illegal corruption across the board. And nothing's going to be done about it because the people in power, they're not going to punish themselves. And the poorer people, us masses, apparently we ain't going to do nothing either. We're just going to sit back and talk and complain and whine and moan. And then next election season, we'll go out there like blind, stupid sheep and say, well, who are you voting for? Which corrupt criminal should I vote for this time? Fucking idiots. And it's funny, you see all this money being spread around amongst all these people. These people take our tax dollars and they multiply it in the stock market. That's why right now the stock market is not moving. It is not moving. It is like at a fucking standstill. Prices do not change. Nothing's moving because all the people who have been taking the stolen funds and making more money by investing it, doing insider trading and all this stuff, they've taken their money out and they stopped investing because now they're all holding on to their money and hedging their bets and waiting to see what happens. That's why the stock market's not moving, because these corrupt animals steal our money, then they multiply it in the stock market by doing things like insider trading. They engage in all kinds of illegal, immoral, and unethical acts to make themselves richer. And then they create laws and policies where if we do something similar, well, we go to jail for decades. I can't believe it. I cannot believe that people are not rallying, not in the streets. You people don't understand that they are robbing you. You can't afford to pay medical bills or buy food for your kids or go on vacation or pay some of your own bills, pay your mortgage, pay your insurance, pay your taxes on your house. You can't afford this stuff, so you stop, indulging in other things because you got to penny pinch and save money just to put fucking gas in your car. And you find out that it's because these people are robbing you and you don't want to do nothing? Dude, I am gobsmacked at this point. People will not do anything. They will literally, like sheep and animals, they will just keep working until death and keep the system going and shake their heads and say, this isn't right. Like I've said for half a decade now, I'm going to keep pushing this message. I don't care if nobody sees it. Now you see why my videos are shadow banned, because I'm constantly trying to push the message that the wealthy are destroying our lives. They're killing us for their own financial gain, and we have to fight back by punishing them, by taking away their money, by not shopping. I've been pushing that, and I'm going to keep pushing it. And so I'm shadow banned on every app. Every social media thing you can think of, I am shadow banned on. It doesn't matter. Messages like people like me get shadow banned because we are giving people the solution. And the wealthy don't want people getting the solution. So I'm going to keep pushing the message because I'm stubborn. You have to stop buying things. You have to shut down the economy. That's the only way to get the attention of these wealthy people who are destroying our lives, destroying the planet, taking opportunities away from your children. I can't even make money in the stock market anymore because it's at a goddamn standstill. These people control and dictate everything, and we just have to sit back and take whatever they give us and take whatever they do to us. Because if we don't, we have other poor people who work as police officers and soldiers who will fight for the wealthy to stop us from revolting. So if the poor people start to realize that the wealthy are destroying our lives and we want to fight back, we can't even do that because you have other poor people who work in the military who will just do whatever their bosses tell them and fight us. We'll fight each other. It's stupid. Dude. Okay. So the solution. What's the solution? I've been given the solution many times. I give it in each video just in case some new people catch it. And I know people that have faithfully watched my videos. I thank you guys. I know you're tired of hearing it, but again, if this is for any new people that can't catch it, the solution, which you guys need to spread, is you have to shut down the economy. That's it. You have to shut the economy down. It won't be painful for us. There may be a little bit of pain because certain people will start losing jobs, but that's fine. If everyone is not out there spending money, then a lot of people that don't like their jobs anyway, they won't care if they get laid off from bagging groceries at Kroger or get laid off from stocking shelves at Walmart. They don't want to do that anyway. If there is a national revolt, then they'll probably quit. And I quit. Nobody's buying things, so nobody has money to pay things, so it doesn't matter. I'm just going to join in. But you have to stop shopping in these big chain stores. These wealthy people make a lot of their money through the big chain stores that you see. All the big, well-known name brand stores that you see in every city, in every state, all around the country, those big chain stores. I can't name all of them, but the big chain stores, TJ Maxx, Kroger, Stop and Shop, Walmart, obviously, Target, all the big chain stores, the big chain restaurants, all the big stores, you got to stop shopping in them. You have to shut down the economy. You have to alter how you buy your products. You have to go to small mom and pop places. Enrich the small mom and pop stores. You're hungry, go to a local restaurant owned by somebody that lives in your neighborhood or lives in your community. You want to buy some clothes? Make the clothes yourself or buy it from a small boutique owned by somebody in your community. You need groceries or you need certain small products, you need batteries. Find it in a local bodega owned by somebody that lives in your community. If you can't find it from some small mom and pop place, go online and buy it from some other country. At this point, the point of this is you have to extract your money from the wealthy because the wealthy make the money that they have from us when we shop. We hand it to them. They then take that money and they bribe our politicians and control them and have policies and bills put in place to help them at our expense. So you wouldn't see this kind of corruption happening if the if the wealthy didn't have the money to bribe the politicians, because there would be no money given to them, so why would they do this? You may have some politicians doing illegal things to enrich themselves, but the handful that do are going to get caught and they're going to go to jail. Right now, they're not getting caught and going to jail because the wealthy don't want them in jail. They've invested too much time and money into them, so they're not going to allow that. That's why you don't see the news anchors and the opinion pieces from the newspapers talking about how we should go after these politicians who have been engaging in this illegal stuff and this immoral stuff and unethical stuff and how they should be arrested and they've called out. Nobody's giving names. No one's talking about it because the wealthy own all that stuff and they're not going to allow it to be talked about. They don't want their puppets to be punished. They're their puppets. They need them in place. They can't replace all those people all at once, so they're not going to allow us to punish those people. And that's because they have the money to control all of this. You want it to stop? Pull your money. Take the money that they have away from them, and then they lose their power. Or at least they lose enough power where they decide, you know what, we got to give some of these people a little bit more than what we've been giving them. Because they're taking their money away from us. And the reason we're doing all this illegal stuff is for the money. And if we ain't getting the money, then we don't need to be doing this illegal stuff. But that's it. You have to spread that message to people. Everybody has to get on board and pull your money from these people. I keep going out driving on the weekends and I see all these strip malls with all these stores packed with fucking cars. And people just in those places just funneling their wealth over to the wealthy people. Giving away their power over to these wealthy people. And then complaining when those wealthy people take that money and use it to hurt them. Like taking away the water that they have in places so that when a forest fire happens, the state don't have water to take care of the fire. Because the wealthy people bribe the politicians to let them own and steal the water. Okay. Spread this message, please. You have all the proof that you need or you should have all the proof needed to make this decision easy. Wealthy people are controlling our politicians and they're controlling our lives as a result because they control the policymakers and the lawmakers. And you see crap like this happening where these people are literally robbing you. And then when there is a storm and it devastates your city and you say, hey, government, that's those taxes that we've been paying over the years. We need some of that back to help rebuild our city. The government says, I ain't got it. And I ain't got it because we stole it. We have it. It's ours now. And people still won't do nothing. Stop shopping, please.